So guys, that time of the week again, I'm back and I'm here to chatter away at you. So one of the questions one of the guys in the gym asked us there recently is, and the example he gave is he wants to get better at push-ups. So he's like, how many push-ups should I do? Should I be doing them on my day off? Or should I just take the rest and do nothing? Should I only work on it in the gym? Well, I would say generally, if it's something you're trying to work on, you need to be doing it a little bit more. And the same with something like pull-ups. Now, here's the proviso, provided the load is low. So what would be the example I gave is, we'll go back to the push-ups. We'll say, now this guy can do quite a lot of push-ups. He can generally do 15 without a problem. And he wants to be able to do more. But we'll scale it back a little bit. We'll say if you're the person and you're working really hard and you want to get to a push-up, and maybe you can only do 7 or 8, and you really want to be able to get to 15 push-ups, okay? Doing the push-ups 3 times a week in the gym is a huge step in the right direction, but maybe a little bit extra wouldn't be the worst. But what's important is keeping the load low. If you could do something like 8 push-ups, bang, 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 without a big problem, and that was a struggle, I should say. If you're able to do 8 push-ups, but it's tough, doing 8 push-ups every morning might be a little too much if you're bringing training in on top of that as well. I'd actually bring that all the way back. I'd do something like 2 push-ups every morning, okay? And you could scale into it. And it's like, it's a long-term thing, because we're already training in the gym and we're adding a little bit of extra training, but we don't want that extra training to kill the big training in the gym. So we want to keep the load nice and low and gently build it up. So if I was to do something like that, and I was doing something similar with pull-ups not so long ago, where I would do only 2. There's nothing wrong with doing only 2, but it all adds up over time. So we'll say if you wanted to build up your pull-ups, you can only do 8. What I would suggest is do something like every morning you get up, do 3 sets of 2 push-ups. So do 2 push-ups, take your breath for 10 seconds, do 2 push-ups again, take your breath for 10 seconds, and do 2 push-ups again, and take a breath for 10 seconds. That will feel like nothing for the first week, and that's fine, because the next week we're going to increase it by 50%. Going to get you to do 3 push-ups. Because the great thing is about doing your 2-2-2, that's 6 push-ups, and it's not going to feel anywhere near the effort of doing 1 set of 6 by itself. Then we add, in the next week, we're going to 3, and it should still feel quite easy, but now you're doing 9 push-ups every morning, and that's 18 push-ups extra a week. And then the week after you can go for 3 sets of 4, so we've gone up to 12 push-ups every morning. So that's 7 and 7.2. That's now nearly you know what I mean, it's steadily going up and up and up, and over time, when you get to the 5 push-ups, you might start to find them a struggle, and that's fine. I would actually just keep them at that level till they get to the point where they're effortless, because this should be extra to your training. You should be giving your body the time to accommodate quite easily for it. So the main thing is, get that level where it's easy and build from there. And the slower you build, the more you can do with it. Like, it's actually quite shocking how much you can do with simple push-ups. If you look, there was a guy called Herschel Walker, who was a very well-known guy in American football years ago. I think he went to the MMA since as well. And the guy, okay, he's a genetic anomaly, but I'll tell you one thing that he didn't lack on was work ethic, because he didn't have weights when he was younger. So he was doing something like 2,000 damn push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups every day, and he didn't start that day one. He built up to it. And if you want to see what you can do if you do 2,000 push-ups a day, go look at pictures of this guy, because he looks friggin' amazing even at age 50. Now, maybe he had a genetic advantage, but the one thing he didn't have an advantage was with the facilities and the weight room and everything else. He just decided, this is what I'm going to do, and he built on it. And by God, it worked. Now, it's the same if you look at old school strength guys like Louis Cyr. He used to run every day with a bag of oats on his head, on his shoulders, and each day he would add just a cup or a half cup or a teaspoon of grain, the smallest thing. And I mean, this guy, the problem with people born 150 years ago is we don't know exactly how strong they are, But we do know, like for instance, he lifted the axle of a train, and they know how heavy that was, and the guy was monumentally strong. And again, it was the smallest little increment over time. And that's the thing always to remember, have the patience. It's not about being strong today or being strong tomorrow. It's about the goal. It's about being strong in 6 months. And sometimes you need to give yourself a bit extra practice to get there and a little bit extra work. All for it. If there's an exercise you're trying to work on, if it is your push-up, I would just start very low and start building it up. Now, the one I would be careful about is if you're talking about pull-ups. If you're only able to do 5 pull-ups, doing 3 sets of 3 pull-ups first thing in the morning, mightn't be the worst, but I would actually start a bit lower back. Give yourself the time. The longer the span of time you give yourself to build up, the more guaranteed you are to get there. Okay? And it's just about that slow, gentle build. So that's what I would say about push-ups is, do you want to do push-ups to your training? Hell yeah, do some extra push-ups. Make them easy. That's the key thing. Even if it means going off a chair and doing a lot of them that way, that's fine. But over time, it's all going to build up. And anybody you're training with will give you probably a similar advice, and they'll give you maybe the level to start off at if you're not too sure. Like, it depends how good your push-ups are as well. Like, you know, there's push-ups, and then there's things that look like a banana, and that's not quite a push-up. Always try to keep everything quality and everything effortless, and you do it first thing in the morning, and you're going to build up. And in 6 months, if you were consistent, you won't believe the amount of progress you can make in 6 months if you are consistent. But if you do this for 2 weeks and then stop, well, guess what? It's not going to be a big progress then. Okay? Take care, guys. We'll talk to you later.